Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. The Cuban contender Luis Ortiz has declared publicly he's ready and willing to face Anthony Joshua, and he wants Joshua to know his manager has contacted promoter Eddie Hearn about a potential fight. The unified champion Joshua looks set to fight Jarrell Miller in June after his first three options of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte couldn't agree to terms with him, or in Wilder's case, he didn't enter into negotiations due to the rematch that he's set to make with Tyson Fury. Joshua has been forced to look at a Jarrell Miller fight and has been undertaking negotiations for a fight in June in the United States. But Ortiz, who has his own fight scheduled for March the 2nd against Christian Hammer in New York, is waiting in the wings, telling Boxing Scene regarding Joshua, "Listen, I heard you mention my name 2 weeks ago and I didn't feel like responding because maybe like Whyte and Joyce, you were just using my name to show you got some cojones, which I believe you do. But in this case, maybe Eddie Hearn hasn't informed you that my manager has already reached out to him. It was last month before you made that comment about me and advised him I'm available. So look, if you want to fight, I'm here, and stop saying I priced myself out because I've never had no offers to fight you. With all respect to you for all you have done, I'll fight you for just about any money you offer. So if you can't work it out with Miller, I'm here and ready. I'll fight you in the USA or UK. It's on you. If you think you're that good and want to test yourself, who better than me? Wilder and Fury are not available, and I believe in my heart to be the best, you must face the best. The only reason I'm trying to reach out to you like this is because maybe, just maybe, your people don't relay the truth, so here it is, Papa. Now the ball is in your court. In my world, I'm the boss. Don't get me wrong, I listen to my advisors and promoters, but at the end, everyone knows we make the last call. So let me just know ASAP. Your people know how to get a hold of my people." Meanwhile, Dillian Whyte has told Sky Sports that Joshua reached out to him when negotiations for a deal between the pair stalled, saying he actually messaged me. "It's childish. Do you want to make the fight or not?" I just thought to myself, you're just an idiot. You clearly don't want to make the fight. I just want a fair crack of the whip. That's all. It's nothing to do with who's boss. Dillian Whyte says, "Hopefully we can fight Brazil. I'll get to knock him out and I'll become WBC mandatory. The decision is meant to be made this week or as late as early next week." And Whyte, who is number one in the WBO, could see cruiserweight king Alexander Usyk claim the mandatory position when he moves up to heavyweight, courtesy of his super champion status, which allows him to get a shot at the champion above. And in this case, that champion is Anthony Joshua. Whyte says, "Who? No one knows who that guy is. Nothing surprises me in heavyweight boxing. Nothing." And just to clarify, Dillian Whyte is not the WBO mandatory at present, he is just the number one rated contender. There is a difference. Veteran promoter Don King says Bermane Stiverne will be ready and able to upset 7-0 prospect Joe Joyce on February 23rd when they meet on the De Gale Eubank undercard. He says, "Unfortunately for the local fans of Joe, there will be no rejoicing. As my once and future champion, Bermane Stiverne will slay Joyce just like St. George did the Dragon of old. But no matter, we will pick up the pieces and bring back Joyce just as I have brought back and helped build many a future together. I recall when I came over here with Oliver McCall. He was given no chance against Lennox Lewis. Then the underdog became the top dog. Oliver KO'd the previously unbeaten champ, and we went home with the title. History will repeat itself on February 23 when Bermane sends another undefeated Englishman to defeat." Joe Joyce, meanwhile, has been training in Big Bear, California with Abel Sanchez, and he's been getting sparring work with Italian prospect Guido Vianello, he's on the right of this picture, and also he's been working with Malik Scott in camp. And just on Vianello, he's currently 1-0. He has a fight this weekend against Andrew Satterfield on the Jose Ramirez undercard in Fresno, California. Meanwhile, Abel Sanchez, who trains both Vianello and Joyce, told World Boxing News on Joyce's upcoming fight with Stiverne, "This is a difficult fight for Joe. Stiverne has experience in big fights and will be something hard for Joe to deal with. The Joyce team feels that he's ready for the big step, plus he's also 33 years old, so it's imperative that we make these calculated career moves. Hopefully he'll be ready for a title shot next year. We feel that he will be ready at some point in 2020. If Joshua is still champion by then, it would be a huge fight for Joe. The Russian contender Alexander Povetkin still hopes to return to action in April or May, either in the United Kingdom or the USA. A couple of months ago, Povetkin had stated he was targeting a return to the ring in April in London, which many speculated would have been on the undercard of Anthony Joshua's next scheduled fight date, April 13th at Wembley. But with Joshua now likely set to face Jarrell Miller in June in the United States, Povetkin will have to look elsewhere. Contender Dillian Whyte has named Povetkin as one of 3 opponents he'd like to face on April 20th in the UK. The Russian says, "I don't know who I will fight next, but it should be in April, most likely either in England or the United States. My managers are discussing the details and I'm waiting for them to tell me the exact details. It's hard to say who my next opponent will be." Assassin Promotions has announced they've agreed a deal for Newfell Owattar to face Junior Farr on March 2nd in Ohio over 10 rounds, saying it's a great opportunity for the Frenchman. The 33-year-old has a record of 16-2, with those losses coming to Johan Dorper and Erkin Tepper. Farr, meanwhile, is unbeaten at 16-0 and will be considered the favourite coming into that fight. For those who've been following the New Zealander, this will unlikely be considered as the sort of step-up fight they've been hoping to see him in. Fellow New Zealander Hemi the Hita Hio, who is 12-0, is on the same card as Farr in Ohio, and there have been reports he will face Ed Fountain, a 12-4 journeyman. Unbeaten heavyweight prospects George Arias and Stephen Shaw will also feature on the same card, and BoxRec lists 12-0 Arias as facing Robert Sims, who has a record of 8-2. No opponent has been listed yet for Stephen Shaw. The Australian heavyweight Lucas Brown has taken to Instagram to update fans on his upcoming plans in respect of his next 2 fights in the UK, one in March and the other in April against Dave Allen.
So just extremely excited about what's going on. Should have an opponent ready to announce for the Scotland fight extremely soon. I've been told it should be tonight, but you never know how all that goes. I'm just excited. Sorry. I'm just excited. I'll be fighting very soon. I'm fit as f*** and I'm ready to go. So watch me, watch this. I am looking to be on the April 20 card now for Dillian Whyte as an undercard against Allen, obviously. They're also looking at putting on Parker and Chisora on that same card as well, so that'll be a massive card, heavyweight division-wise, everything else.
The Japanese heavyweight Kyotaro Fujimoto has told Sky Sports he's pushing for a big 2019, saying, "I'm trying hard for my goal of becoming the first Asian world title challenger, so I will make that dream come true, and then I want to quit boxing as soon as possible." However, even if you have the skill, it is difficult for a Japanese fighter to challenge for world titles in this division. And Fujimoto has confirmed he almost fought Joseph Parker at one point, saying, "I held several talks about this fight, but the first time was not for the world title. I agreed the second offer, but the fight did not take place." The British prospect Daniel Dubois has been sparring with Mariusz Wach in preparation for his upcoming fight with Razvan Kajanu next month on March 8th at the Royal Albert Hall. The veteran Polish fighter, who himself is set to return to the ring on a card in Poland in April, is roughly the same height and dimensions as the Romanian fighter. Daniel Dubois has said of the fight, "I think my power and speed will be major in this fight." Meanwhile, Dubois' stablemate and rival Nathan Gorman has weighed in on the Kajanu-Dubois fight, saying, "It's a two-way street, that fight. I can see either Daniel knocking him out early or Razvan cuddling him and doing little tricks, then getting to round 7 or 8 and still doing the leaning on with little elbows, shoulder in the face. It will test Daniel's heart, but on the other hand, he could have the perfect style and end up knocking him out. I hope he does, I really do. He'd probably think in his own mind, if I've knocked Razvan out, I can knock Nathan out, and he might get the cojones to fight me. I'll be there cheering him on." The WBA regular title holder Manuel Cha says he's ready to prove his critics wrong. Cha, whose image has been tainted by a recent failed drugs test, which he was later cleared of on a technicality, will face Kendo next month in Germany. Cha says, "I've worked hard for this title and I'm going to work much harder to defend it. I am ready. I'm going to prove to the world who this title belongs to." Prospects Arslanbek Makhmudov and Simon Keane are back in action in March, with it announced they will feature on a Montreal card on March 16th. Australian Rugby League player and sometime heavyweight boxer Paul Gallen, who faces former Australian heavyweight champ and also former Rugby League player John Hopewati this Friday, has told Hopewati, "If you beat me on Friday, I will not fight again. That's how confident I am." And another action this weekend, 13-0 prospect Damani Rock will face Stephen Lyons in Philadelphia. And elsewhere, the 14-1 prospect Ruan Visser faces Elvis Moyo in Pretoria, South Africa. That's it from me. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.